Hey everybody, it's Alika Lifty, and today we are in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, brewing our Kamwangi AA as a filter offering. Alright, we are in beautiful Eureka Springs, Arkansas with some of our wholesale partners at Eureka Springs Coffee House. Beautiful little blue shop in Eureka Springs. Historical district, is that right?
Yes.
I mean, everything's historical in Eureka Springs. Hey baristas, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I am Elizabeth Carter, and I am the daughter of the owners, and I am the assistant manager here at the coffee shop.
Hi, I'm Leanna. I am a barista here and a shift leader.
And what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla.
Yeah, let's go. Y'all, I mean, we've been here for, maybe a couple hours now. Y'all have been pretty busy the entire time. A lot of people getting coffee, a lot of people getting ice cream. Yeah, what is it you love about Eureka Springs?
I think I love the tourists the most. We get people from all over the world. I've met Australian people, like people with so many different kinds of accents. It's really neat to hear people from everywhere.
That was really fun.
Yeah. I would say having that like small town feeling. I really love that. I used to live in California, so coming to here is
Eureka Springs would be quite the change from most places I've been to in California. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we have got brand new coffee that I'm really excited to serve on filter. This is a Kenyan coffee, the Kenya Kamwangi AA. So AA is the size of the bean. We have a very big bean out of Kenya. The Kamwangi cooperative is known for really high quality coffees. This is only the second time that Onyx has ever served a Kamwangi coffee, and I'm really excited about it because back 9 years ago, the Kenya Kamwangi was actually my first coffee at Onyx Coffee Lab that made me like really enjoy coffee. This coffee tastes completely different, but it is still really, really good, and so I hope y'all enjoy it. But we're gonna brew this on the Kalita Wave, and I'm also gonna be using this Kalita, I don't exactly know which model this is, but it is a wedge-shaped filter with a number 4 size filter that we're gonna be using, kind of a Melita shape or cone-style filter like that. So, classic Kalita recipe. It's gonna be really nice. It's gonna give us a nice round body, and this coffee is really going to shine on here. So we're going to talk through the recipe as we brew it. We're using 25 grams of this coffee, ground medium fine. This is much finer than drip coffee. We're going almost as fine as a V60 grind size, which is a really fine grind, because this coffee wants to drain really, really fast. But if we let it do that, then our cup's going to be sour and it's going to taste like vegetables. So we're going to grind it more fine so it drains more slow for us. It gives us a really nice cup of coffee. So first things first, let's toss some filters into our brewers and wet those filters. I've got those wave filters over there, and I have a number 4 filter, so I'm folding along the perforations. But we're going to be pouring in the same exact style, and I expect that my brew might actually drain a little bit more quickly, but we'll be all right. So for these wave filters, you're just going to want to hold it in straight in your brewer and then pour straight into the middle of that Kalita. Yeah, there you go. And just pour heavy, let that thing kind of fill up with water, and you can get some of those edges. Once it's kind of set, you can take your fingers off the filter and it's going to set in there just fine. Yeah, just like that. And there we go. And we're going to let this drain. It is heating up our brewer. Just like preheating our oven, it's going to give us a really good cup of coffee. All right. Now, we need to get some fresh hot water into these kettles. All right, we have refilled our kettles now. So, we need to first dump the extra water from our decanters. I'm actually gonna use a little bit of my water to preheat my mug so that it gives my coffee nice and hot and tasty. And then once we've dumped the water from our decanters, we can add our coffee into our brewers. So again, we have got 25 grams of coffee, and we're going to be brewing with 400 grams of water. So this is our standard 1:16 ratio for our standard Kalita recipe. I tried a few different brewers with this coffee, and I just liked the Kalita a lot. It's really balanced, nice texture, nice sweetness, and really easy to brew once you decide on that grind size. So let's pick up our brewers a little bit, shake that dose until it is nice and flat for us, sets our canvas, ready to pour our water, and then once you are done with that, put it back together and hit that T. Let's tare our scales, and then we're gonna be ready to brew. So first thing we're gonna do is bloom, which is just wetting all this coffee. I'm just gonna start my timer, and I'm gonna pour 50 grams to wet all my coffee. About as light as we can is our goal. If we're anywhere between 40 to 60, we will be all right. We're gonna let this bloom for 30 seconds, and at 30 seconds, I'm gonna drop heavy in the middle, and I'm just gonna work my way in spirals all the way to the outside until I've touched all the coffee, and I should be at about 160. All right, and I'm about ready to go, and boom. So I'm just dropping heavy. I'm just gonna do these spirals all the way to the outside until I see 160 show up there on my scale. Yeah, there we go. And then at 45 seconds, I'm gonna do it again. Boom, drop, bigger spirals. I should be close to 220. I should be anywhere from about 220 to 240 once I'm done with that. And now at this point, I'm just kind of watching this water level. Where I've set right now, that's kind of my base, where I want it to be. And so when I drop down about a pinky's width in this brewer, which takes about 10 to 15 seconds, hit it again with another 60 to 80 grams. And so here, for mine, I'm gonna go at 115. Looks like y'all can go right now. And now I'm gonna spiral up to 280. Yep, just like that. Work your way all the way around the edges, trying to push all that coffee down at the end of the filter. And then around here, 135 to 140. I'm gonna hit it again, up to 340 now. So at 140 to 340. Now they're continuing to do spirals in their Kalita waves. In my wedge filter, I'm pouring heavy in the middle, trying to keep my flow rate pretty fast because I'm getting a little bit of choking in mine. And then here, at about 2 minutes and 10 seconds, we're gonna finish off this brew all the way up to 400 grams, our big total. So touching all the coffee, being careful not to go too far over 400 if it gets to that point. Yeah, I'm gonna hit mine now. There we, oh, a little short. There we go. All right. Like I said, this coffee likes to drain really fast. That's why we ground it so fine, because it needs a little bit extra time. It's high elevation, really big bean, but it's still really dense for this Kenyan coffee. So ground it fine so that it brews a little bit longer. And if it brews too fast, if we grind too coarse or like a normal Kalita, it's gonna taste really sour. It's gonna be really bright, it's gonna be really watery, kind of like lemongrass. If it drains too slowly, if we ground it too fine, then we are going to get this kind of burnt sugar flavor that covers everything up, and it isn't very pleasant. But when this coffee is balanced, it's really complex. We get this really sweet and tart tangerine. We're gonna get brown sugar, and it has this really nice maple and banana flavor. So banana, kind of weird for this coffee. If you think of when you eat a banana, how that flavor just kind of washes over you, you really get that in the aftertaste of this coffee, and it's really fun. And so my drain time for this coffee, I expect around 3 minutes and 45 seconds, plus or minus about 20 seconds. So if we are around that time, we're gonna ought to get a pretty good cup of coffee. And mine is almost finished. Looks like y'all's is almost ready as well. I'm gonna get my mug ready to go, and then let's taste it. Let's see what we think. There we go. So once it is drained out the bottom of your brewer, we'll take this off, put it aside. So I'm sitting here, I'm gonna take this off at 4 minutes now. It's almost finished. Alrighty, yeah, we can go ahead and remove those brewers. Whew. How's that smell?
It smells like coffee.
Smells like coffee, looks like coffee, and it tastes like coffee too. It could just be nostalgia for me, but I really enjoy this coffee. Yeah. Hey, cheers. Thanks for brewing with me.
Yes.
And happy brewing.